The fourth wall used to protect us. It kept performers in their world and the rest of us in ours. It was a kind of pact, a boundary between character and creator, fiction and fact. But what happens when the wall collapses? What happens when the stream doesn't end? When the mask isn't a mask? And when the audience becomes part of the chaos? This is the story of Ishowspeed. Not as a YouTube celebrity, not as a viral sensation, but as a real-time collapse of performance into personhood. In a world where content is crafted, filtered, and optimized for appeal, Speed was raw, too raw, so raw it hurt to watch, and yet we couldn't stop watching. This documentary doesn't ask, who is Speed? That question is too small. Instead, we ask, what does Speed mean? How did one teenager, armed with a webcam and a willingness to show everything, become a mirror to a generation's fractured reality? And more importantly, what was the cost? Before he was the firework boy, the World Cup face, or the mascot of chaos, Speed was just Darren, a teenager in Cincinnati with a phone and a dream. Now he's both everywhere and nowhere, a meme and a mystery, and maybe, deep down, even to himself, a warning. Before the explosions, before the screams, before the internet melted around him, there was calm. Or at least, something close to it. Darren Watkins Jr. didn't step into the streaming world with a brand. He wasn't polished, strategic, or calculating. That's what made it work. On March 21st, 2016, he started uploading gameplay videos to YouTube. NBA 2K, FIFA, Fortnite, the usual suspects. No thumbnails screaming for attention. No wild edits. Just a kid playing games. And at first, nobody cared. He streamed to 5 viewers, then 10, then 30. Some nights, nobody showed up at all. He raged, he laughed, he danced, he cried. And slowly, very slowly, people started to stay. It wasn't just what he played, it was how he played. Erratic, explosive, honest. You couldn't fake that kind of volatility. It felt like watching someone crack open in real time. A living cartoon with real blood behind the pixels. By 2021, the numbers were impossible to ignore. Hundreds of thousands of subscribers turned into millions. Clips of Speed barking like a dog, raging at horror games, or arguing with his chat went viral daily. But it wasn't viral like Mr. Beast. It wasn't safe. It was dangerous. Raw nerve, mainlined to your screen. Speed wasn't just streaming. He was breaking games, breaking formats, breaking himself. And the world watched. One of Speed's earliest viral moments wasn't something he planned. That was the point. A horror game jump scare. He screamed. He fell. He cried. He yelled at chat. And someone clipped it. Within hours, it was everywhere. TikTok, Reddit, YouTube compilations. The algorithm fed on him. So he gave it more. He played Talking Ben and created chaos. He accidentally flashed inappropriate content live. He set off fireworks indoors and almost burned his house down. Not skits. Not scripted. Real. And here's the terrifying brilliance. Speed never flinched. The firework moment became one of the most famous clips in his career. A cautionary tale and a badge of honor. Viewers screamed at their screens. He just laughed. Every time the audience thought they knew the line, Speed crossed it. He was banned again and again from Twitch, from YouTube, live temporarily, from events. But nothing could stop the wave. Because Speed wasn't just a creator. He was the content. There was no team of editors, no handlers, no boundaries. Just a boy and his chat bleeding into each other in real time. The fourth wall? Obliterated. To understand Speed, you have to understand his chat, not just as background noise, but as a character, maybe even the main one. Thousands of voices flooding in every second. El ratio. Bark. Show feet. Call a girl. Say it again. This wasn't passive viewership. This was control. Speed's chat didn't watch him. They shaped him. They baited reactions. They spammed suggestions. They pushed boundaries. And the more unhinged the response, the more they rewarded it with views, donations, and hype. In one particularly infamous stream, chat pushed Speed to call a girl and flirt. The call spiraled. The jokes turned weird. Then worse. The audience erupted in laughter and clips. But beneath the surface, something darker was forming. A boy being puppeteered. This wasn't acting. It wasn't a sketch. It was social manipulation in real time. And the line between Speed and the demands of his chat began to blur. Was he in control? Or just reacting? When you stream for 6, 8, 10 hours a day, every day, the answer doesn't matter. The result is the same. You become whatever the stream needs you to be. As Speed's fame surged, he took the chaos into the real world. IRL, streaming, walking into malls, fast food joints, parks. The audience followed, but this was no prank channel. There was no safety net. In Japan, during a notorious trip in 2023, Speed tried to speak the local language in an exaggerated accent. The clip went viral, and not in a good way. Accusations of racism flooded the comments. He apologized, then streamed again the next day. In Portugal, he filmed with fans, got mobbed in public, started street chants. His energy was infectious. It was also dangerous. Security was often minimal. Planning? Non-existent. Streams would start spontaneously. Fans would leak his location. Crowds would form. And Speed, always the performer, gave them what they wanted. Until the day the performance turned to panic. During a trip in late 2023, Speed suffered a severe allergic reaction on stream. His face swelled. He clutched his throat. He begged chat for help. And still, the camera rolled. Tens of thousands watched as medics arrived. Even then, he didn't end the stream. Most celebrities have PR teams, scripts, intermediaries. Speed had none. So when something broke, it broke live. Emotional outbursts, injuries, family drama, embarrassing accidents, medical emergencies. Speed shared them all. Not because it was strategic, because he didn't stop the camera. It wasn't just transparency, it was exposure. And his audience, young, hyper-online, attention-addicted, ate it up. They clipped his tears. They auto-tuned his rage. They memed his panic. Speed wasn't a person. He was a feed. To the platforms, that meant money. To fans, it meant dopamine. To Speed, it meant pressure, burnout, cracks. And slowly, over time, those cracks began to show. By 2024, Speed had achieved a kind of fame that even mainstream outlets couldn't ignore. He was interviewed, invited to major events, sponsored by global brands. He streamed with soccer legends. He was a guest at the World Cup. He met Ronaldo. But the same industry that benefited from his numbers was also terrified of him. He was unpredictable. He couldn't be scripted. He barked on stage. He ran shirtless through stadiums. He misfired jokes that backfired. Behind closed doors, brands pulled back. PR teams whispered, "Too risky." And still, his numbers grew. Because Speed wasn't clean. He wasn't safe. He was real. In a terrifying, exhilarating, unmarketable way. That made him powerful. And alone, by early 2024, it wasn't clear whether Speed was still driving the chaos, or if the chaos had taken the wheel. His streams became more erratic. Some ran for nearly 12 hours, jumping from gaming to rants to IRL chaos in the same breath. Others cut off suddenly without warning, like a system overheating and crashing. The camera never blinked, but Speed did. He started forgetting basic things live on stream, repeating himself, falling into loops. During one now infamous broadcast, he played a horror game for 5 straight hours. But when fans clipped it together, they realized he had said the same sentence nearly 30 times. "I'm not even gonna lie, chat, I don't know anymore." That phrase stuck. Some made it into merch, others into edits. But the real ones, the longtime fans, they started to worry. Because beneath the explosions and barking and broken monitors, something in Speed's eyes had changed. He wasn't reacting anymore. He was enduring. 2024 would be the year Speed couldn't avoid the consequences anymore. In February, during what should have been a routine gaming stream, Speed snapped at chat. Not performative snapping, not the usual mock rage, but real anger. He stood up, walked off screen, then came back and ended the stream early. Fans speculated. Was he okay? Was it a bit? But it wasn't a bit. Days later, a leaked Discord message surfaced. Speed venting privately about his fans, the pressure, and how they don't see me as human. Some defended him, others turned on him. For the first time, he was trending, not for what he did, but for how tired he looked. Then came the backlash cycle. In March, during an IRL stream in London, Speed was filmed berating a group of teenagers who followed him into a restaurant. The clip went viral, again, but this time, it didn't go away. Multiple outlets covered it. Is Ishowspeed out of control? Headlines asked. Speed apologized. Again. Live, of course, but even the apology felt hollow. Less contrition, more resignation. I can't even eat food, bro. Y'all don't get it. I'm not a zoo animal. The phrase stuck again. This time, not as a meme, but as a breaking point. No one streams their life for years without the lines blurring. For Speed, those lines were gone, erased by years of immersion. In June 2024, Speed accidentally revealed sensitive family information live on stream, not in words, but in a casual camera pan. The internet, predictably, froze the frame, zoomed in, and investigated. Within hours, Reddit threads popped up. Conspiracy theories, speculation, invasions. Speed's response was unfiltered rage. He screamed at chat, threatened to quit, logged off midstream, but he didn't quit. Because Speed didn't know how to turn off the camera. Not anymore. He returned the next day, softer, quieter. Y'all gotta stop. Seriously. Like, stop. But they didn't stop. Because once you train an audience to expect blood, laughter won't feed them. And once the performance becomes the person, every moment becomes a potential breakdown. In August, Speed suffered another health scare live. Panic attack. Some speculated. Others said exhaustion. He never confirmed either. But for the first time, he ended the stream early, voluntarily. By late 2024, something strange happened. Speed pulled back. Not entirely. He still streamed, still went viral, still broke things and screamed. But the frequency dropped, the outbursts mellowed, the chats got slower. He started showing up in collabs again, but only on his terms. He turned down brand deals, skipped major events. Fans speculated. Is Speed changing? In one quiet December stream, he addressed it in his own chaotic way. Chat like, y'all ever get tired of yourself? Like, bro, I barked at a World Cup. I made Ronaldo laugh. I met Messi. I got banned from Twitch and came back like 3 times. I literally almost blew up my house. Like, bro, what else do I even do? That moment, more than the rages, the fireworks, the scandals, felt real, vulnerable, almost like Darren was talking, not Speed. But even then, chat spammed emojis, jokes, requests, and the mask snapped back on. So what now? Speed is still live, still famous, still absurdly young. But the fourth wall doesn't protect him anymore, and maybe it never did. He exists in a constant loop. Perform, break, apologize, repeat. The platform rewards the chaos. The fans demand it. And Speed, or Darren, delivers. But at what cost? Maybe he pulls back, evolves, grows. Maybe he disappears for a while, reemerges with new clarity. Or maybe, and this is the darker path, the cycle continues until it can't. Because when you turn your life into content, you don't just lose privacy, you lose pause. What do you think about Speed's future? Will he be even more successful, or will he be lost in his character? Only future will tell. Thank you for watching today's video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and leave a comment down below. Who should we make next video about?